Today's garden tour is taking us to the home of the Proven Winner ColorChoice Shrubs. Hi, I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings, and today we are out in the trial garden and we are just going to meander our way through all of these gorgeous gardens. So let's go ahead and take a walk through the garden and see what we can find that will bring interest to a winter garden. This is the Cornus Sargent pepper. This is also known as a red twig dogwood. So this is a plant that has multi-seasons of interest. We've got the gorgeous variegated foliage, so it's got shades of green and white, and then it's edged in a rosy pink. But the best thing I think about this plant is in the winter when all of these leaves drop off and what remains are the gorgeous red twigs. Sargent pepper gets 4 to 6 foot tall and 6 to 8 foot wide. This is a very mature specimen that we're seeing here out in the gardens today. And I would say it's probably even taller than the 6 foot tall. I'd say we're more like about 8 foot tall or so. It's a great plant in the spring when it puts on its flowers. It attracts those early season pollinators. It's deer resistant, so it's part of that deer proof line. And like I mentioned before, it's those gorgeous red twigs that I think are just so stunning in the garden, especially here in West Michigan. When the snow falls and you see these red twigs just up against that white, it's just so vibrant and so pretty. This is for full sun to part shade, and if you are in growing zones 3 to 7, this is one of those shrubs that you will be able to enjoy in your garden. People are often looking for shrubs that can be planted in the shade, especially evergreens that can be planted in the shade. And I think taxus is one of those kind of staple plants, staple evergreens that can be grown not only in the shade but in the sun as well. This gorgeous variety here is the Taxus Dark Druid. Taxus Dark Druid is hardy in zones 4 to 7 and gets 3 to 4 foot tall and about 3 foot wide. This is a beautiful evergreen. They can be left just to grow naturally, kind of like you're seeing here, or they can be trimmed to shape. Kind of depends on what the preference and what the look is that you're looking for in your garden. It's got nice deep dark foliage. It's soft, where a lot of evergreens can be slightly sharp and pokey, where these are a nice soft branch. So if you're looking for just a nice foundation plant that's evergreen, you're having a hard time finding something that can be planted in the shade, Taxus is always an option for you, and this Dark Druid has a very nice habit as well. Heptacodium, also known as Seven's Sunflower. This here particular variety is called the Temple of Bloom. Isn't she beautiful? This is a gorgeous plant that has color in summer, fall, and winter. So let's take a closer look here at the Temple of Bloom and just see what makes this such a fantastic shrub that can be trained into a tree form for season-long interest. Temple of Bloom is hardy in zones 5 to 9. It can get 10 to 15 foot tall, so this can get to be quite a nice size shrub. We personally like to train it into tree form though, because that helps reveal the gorgeous peeling bark, which is what gives this plant its unique winter interest. In the summer, it has gorgeous white flowers that the pollinators just love. Once those petals fall off, it leaves behind these gorgeous red bracts, which is giving us the nice fall foliage color we're seeing here today. This is one of those shrubs that is just so versatile from any time of year. There's always something going on with it. And I think my personal favorite is the fall when we're seeing these rosy pink bracts. So much beautiful color on this shrub. Here's a cold climate beauty for those of you down to zone 2 and up to zone 7. This is a gorgeous evergreen. It's a juniper called Tortuga. Tortuga has really soft branches on it, so they're very easily touchable, where sometimes juniper can be just a little bit on the pokey side. This plant gets 1 to 2 foot tall and 3 to 4 foot wide. So these are pretty mature specimens out in the garden today. They like to be planted in full sun to part shade locations, and with that kind of a pokey texture to it, they're naturally deer resistant, and I think I mentioned already, but they're also very evergreen. So if you're looking to create like a border in your garden, or maybe even like a foundation planting, something to plant like under the windows or near the foundation of your house, this is a great compact evergreen shrub that even in the coldest of climates will overwinter and do beautifully. To know it is to have it. This is the Proudberry Pink Coral Berry, and once you've seen this plant, it's something usually people want to add to their must-have list for fall interest in color in their garden. I love the look of the Proudberry Pink with these gorgeous clusters of bright pink bubblegum berries. Proudberry Pink is hardy in zones 3 to 7. So for those of you in the cooler climates, this is a must-have plant. It gets 3 to 4 foot tall and 3 to 4 foot wide. It's deer resistant. Yes, you heard that right. It's deer resistant. So for those of you who have issues with deer in your garden, this one should be no problem at all. Also, too, it makes a great cut flower. So if you like to do those cut flower arrangements, cutting a little bit of these berries really adds some cool interest into cut flower displays. In the summer, it has little white berries that really attract the pollinators, and it's those little flowers that produce these clusters of berries for later season interest. We do recommend trimming these in late fall or in the winter after the berries are gone, or in the early spring, down to about 1 foot or so. That way you can enjoy even more berries the following season. So this plant blooms off of the new growth, so it's safe to trim after it's done berrying. If you are looking at this and thinking, wow, that's something I've never seen before, there's a good chance that's true, because I feel like just not a ton of people know about the coral berries. But this is definitely something that I've been enjoying in my garden now for over 8 years. And whenever we talk about it, it's always something that creates a lot of buzz. So if you want to have a lot of buzz in your garden, be sure to check out the Proudberry Pink coral berries. With so many people looking for boxwood alternatives, I wanted to show you today this ilex. It's called strong box. A lot of times when you think of ilex or hollies, you think of, berries and such. But this is actually one that's just going to show its evergreen foliage. It's not going to really have any berries on it at all. The ilex strong box is hardy in zones 5 to 9, and it can be grown in full sun to part shade locations. It gets about 2 to 3 foot tall and wide when it's mature, and as boxwood are, the strong box ilex is also an evergreen shrub. It's also deer resistant, so if you're looking for a deer resistant option, this is a great selection. It's part of the Deer Proof series. Now, with these strong box, you can let them grow naturally, or you can trim them to shape like a lot of people do with boxwood. You can make them round, you can make them square, you can edge them off, whatever the look is you're looking to do, and that you do with your boxwoods, you can also do with this ilex strong box. I love the nice soft foliage. It's really a nice, easy one to work with. And essentially from a distance, you probably wouldn't even be able to tell the difference between it and a boxwood. So if you're looking for a solution, something different than a boxwood, I would recommend giving the strong box ilex a look. It's part of the Glabra family. There's a lot of different varieties, different size options as well. So if 2 to 3 foot maybe is a little too small for you, we do have larger options. But definitely this is an option for you if boxwood is something you are foregoing in the future. Like Berry Heavy Gold, Berry Poppins is a great red alternative to the red berries in the winter. Again, this is going to drop its foliage and it's going to expose all these gorgeous clusters of big red berries. Berry Poppins is hardy in zones 3 to 9, likes to be grown in full sun to part shade locations, and gets 3 to 4 foot tall, so more compact in size. It's deer resistant and attracts those pollinators. You do need to have a male counterpart, which we would recommend being Mr. Poppins. So if you plant a Mr. Poppins by a Berry Poppins, you're going to have these gorgeous bright red berries in late fall and winter. Enjoy the golden foliage of Chamasiferous Soft Serve Gold in your garden from spring, summer, fall, and into winter. This gorgeous evergreen is hardy in zones 4 to 8. It gets 15 to 18 foot tall and 5 to 6 foot wide, so it provides a nice columnar habit. It likes to be planted in full sun to part shade locations, and the nice thing is if you have deer in your area, Chamasiferous is a deer resistant shrub. I love the look of this soft serve gold in my garden because it has such contrast to all of the deep, rich greens in the garden. This yellow is just so striking and pops against all the other foliage I have. Make sure to add a little color to your garden with this gorgeous evergreen, the Chamasiferous Soft Serve Gold. So a lot of times when we're walking through this garden, it's a trial garden. So there's plants just kind of planted throughout. Oftentimes there's not a lot of actual like landscape design going on, but in this little part of the garden, this is a little bit of a designed area, and there's 3 different shrubs that are in this area, and I wanted to show you them and then talk a little bit more in depth about them. So the 3 shrubs are in the background. That's the hydrangea Little Lime Punch, which blooms midsummer and then into the fall, has these gorgeous bright pinkish flowers. The next shrub is an arborvitae. It's called Whip It Good. That's actually a new introduction that we should have in 2026. And then in front of it is a planting here of the Neat Ball Boxwood. So you're going to have your flowers in the background and then 2 evergreen shrubs. Now, what we would do if this were our garden is we'd probably leave those hydrangea blooms on through the winter to give this space some added winter interest as well. But let's break it down and take a look at these 3 shrubs individually for more information. Little Lime Punch, midsummer, has gorgeous, pure white cone-shaped blooms. As the summer goes on, those blooms change to a light pink to a bright pink, and then that gorgeous bright pink lasts through the fall. It's hardy in zones 3 to 9 and likes to be grown in full sun to part sun locations. It gets 3 to 5 foot tall and 3 to 5 foot wide when it is mature. Little Lime Punch blooms off of the new growth, so it's a very reliable hydrangea. If you trim it in the fall or trim it in the spring, you're still going to be guaranteed to have blooms mid to late summer. If you're looking for just a bright mass of color to be the background of your hedge, the Little Lime Punch is a must-have. I will say though, if you are in the South, I'm going to put a little disclaimer here, you may not get these bright magenta colors. The color is triggered by the cooler nights we have here in West Michigan, and that is why we do get these gorgeous fall colors. If you're looking for something fun and whimsy to add to the garden, that's where this Whip It Good arborvitae comes into play. I love the evergreen foliage. It just has this wispy kind of look. And at the top of the plant, you're seeing the branches kind of go up and out, and they look like little sprays of water coming off this plant. It's hardy in zones 3 to 9 and likes to be planted in full sun to part shade locations. So if you're looking for something fun, whimsy, and just totally different for the landscape, check out the Whip It Good arborvitae. These beautiful little neat ball boxwoods look like just cute little neat balls in the garden. You combine toughness and its good looks. This boxwood not only has exceptional hardiness, hardy from zones 4B to 9, but it also has the ability to maintain the very dark green foliage all winter long. If you're looking for a boxwood that's compact, attractive looking, and deer resistant, check out the neat ball with its neat presence in the garden and landscape. Thank you for walking through the gardens with us today. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. And if you're new to our channel, I welcome you to subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.